Welcome back. This is Twinkle Butt, and we are playing the Technomancer yet again. If you didn't see last episode, that's totally fine. I just took the time to break down some of the mechanics, some of the builds that we're going with, and where we're headed in the future. Now, as far as what I did off screen, I did a lot of crafting, and I sold some stuff. I sold off all my companions, like crappy gear that they were wearing, and I have everyone set up in some pretty decent gear. I gave off my Technomancer armor to Andrew because he actually has power. What we need to do now is we need to take our friends with us and get them some experience so we can get them even better gear. I have Phobos borrowing our Vori jacket, but I have the lightweight soldier jacket that I'm going to give to him once he increases his strength. And hopefully in the market here we can pick up a couple of, I think someone is selling a weapon that he can use, so I'm going to be on the lookout for that. But before we do anything, we should talk to our companions and see if any of them have quests for us. Now, if they do, they'll normally show up here, but it never hurts to ask.
Zachariah!
Okay, he doesn't have anything. We want to keep an eye on our companions now more than ever because a lot of them are going to have quests that we want to make sure we get done for them.
Hello.
Hey. You know I'm mad at you, right? You realize what you did to me? You stole my rover, took me to that strange city, and left her in the middle of nowhere. I know that you were nice to me, but still.
Dandolo wants me to bring your rover back here.
Now he's just showing off. At least he knows how much a machine like that one is worth. Unlike you, you do realize that my rover dates back to the settlers? I cared for her like a mother, maybe even more. Bring her back to me. She's got sentimental value and she's all I have left. In the meantime, I'll go find the tools to repair her. And I'd also like to talk to you in private, if you don't mind, regarding what you discovered in Ophir.
Let's not talk about that. So we'll talk to her later after we get the rover back. Andrew, do you have anything?
Hey, there you are. Your meeting go well.
As well as hoped. Thanks.
Then let's get down to business. You know who I am. You know my past. You know what little I have left. What are you gonna do about it now is the question. You gonna use what you can against me? Or let me carry on with the small life I've managed to build?
I want to help you. What can I do?
Some things can't be healed, Rogue. Like that scar across your face. I'm guessing you got it the day I lost everything. And was reduced to a sad, broken, armless shadow of what I might have been.
Some things can't be healed, but most can be mended, Brent. Let me ask around. It might be a long shot, but maybe you'll find a new reason to call yourself lucky again. We'll find someone who can lead you back to your gifts. I promise.
I may be bitter, but I'm no less grateful. Thank you, Zachariah. A little show of kindness goes a long way.
Cool. Alright. That actually starts off something that's kind of important.
Hello, Phobos.
Hello, Zachariah. What can I do for you?
Okay, he doesn't have anything. Nisha, do you have anything for me?
Zach, perfect timing. You remember Abby Goodman, friend of mine you helped before?
Yeah, of course. Is she really your friend, or all just part of the cover you had going on?
No, no, she is. She's a spy for Noctis too, though. She's actually been working on something for me and finally managed to get some info I'd been trying to get.
What information was that?
I spent a part of my life in a rehabilitation camp after my arrest in Ophir. It was the worst time of my existence, and I've always wondered how I'd ended up here. Who had turned us in? We were just a group of street kids. We would steal food here and there, but we weren't dangerous. However, we were arrested and deported to a camp like hardened criminals or terrorists. What happened followed me for many years, until I learned that an important member of the Vori clique was responsible for the deportation of dozens of people. Most of them were innocent, but a nuisance for the mob. I want to find that guy. I want to know if it's he who got us deported. I want to understand why, and make him pay. For me and my companions, of course, but also for those poor people who hadn't asked for anything.
I'm sorry, but I can't come with you right now.
I see.
I think we just
Fine,
can
sure.
talk to her later and it'll re-trigger
Hi,
it.
Zach.
You miss making music? How about you?
Maybe another time. The second all this...
Awesome.
You always been alone?
You mean guys? Other than him?
No,
I did what I had.
you just... How the hell did you go from being an artist in Ophir to a spy in Noctis?
Less of a stretch than you think. After all, a good lie, like good art, has to be close to your reality, right? Truth? I was an orphan. Parents did die, and I was on the street and got sucked into a gang. We all got arrested pretty quick and ended up in a rehab camp. Swore I'd die there a couple of times because I wasn't gonna let them brainwash me, and they didn't take too kindly to that. I took the beatings, but got to keep my mind. Then the day came. Noctis attacked. They freed a lot of us and brought me here, took care of us, gave us a chance to have lives again. So I felt like I owed them something in return, and offered to go back to Ophir as a spy. Good thing, too. Otherwise, who would have torn you out of Victor's grip and brought you back here?
Oh, right. So we'll have to do that quest for Nisha later. What about Scott?
Zachariah!
Here we go.
What do you think about Andrew? He comes from Ophir like you, and he could have become a Technomancer, but he had an accident.
I remember, yes. You know that I was the one who had spotted his abilities and had taken him to school, as I did for you? I thought that he was dead.
That's an
what I was
important
told.
fact. Don't forget
He was
that.
Dead. I shouldn't have listened. He looks perfectly alive now.
Yes, but he lost an arm during the accident, and he can't use Technomancy anymore.
How so? That's ridiculous. Technomancy has nothing to do with arms. It is all in the head. You just have to... Let me think. Yes, I think that with... Yes, that's it. With a full Technomancer kit, I would have the parts needed to create a bypass on the classic prosthesis. I need my notes to do that.
Your notes?
I studied Technomancy as well. Anyway, from a scientific standpoint, obviously. I have never thrown lightning bolts, and I can't do it physically. Moreover, those kits wouldn't suit me, I'm sure.
Scott, you studied Technomancy?
Yes, and I had conducted in-depth research on the way in which your neural network expressed its static charge throughout your equipment. But all this is old. I can't remember it all, and I left my notes in Ophir. I won't have any trouble helping that boy if you bring me my notes and the equipment. You wanted something else?
No. Thank you, Scott. I'm gonna try to bring all that back.
Alright, so that's definitely something that we want to make a priority, because once we can get all that Technomancy stuff, we might be able to get Andrew back and running with his Technomancy abilities. Which would be good, because then, you know, I mean, it can't be bad, right? We'll have to save that part for later. Oh yeah, Nisha's a spy, in case that hasn't become obvious. She's a tote spy for Noctis, and that's what she was spying in the first place. We want to talk to these guys, both because they have a quest for us, and they're gonna help us move that, they're gonna help us move that rover, but we need to make sure that we pass on our check.
Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I took the rover all the way down into the canyon. Unfortunately, that's where I hit a wild ostrich, and now the thing won't drive. Heard you might be able to help get it back here.
And why exactly would we want to help you? We who are just monsters to you and your kind, even here. One of us was just lynched. And what did your kind do about it? Nothing. And when we are sick, what one of you would help us even in fair exchange for serum? Why then, answer me, would we help you now?
I understand why you're angry, but none of that has anything to do with me. Do you think people are any nicer to Technomancers? If so, you're wrong. They weren't so busy being scared of us, I'm sure they'd hang us too.
Yes. Brothers in pain. Outcasts should stick together. We will get your machine, but it will take some time. It will not be easy on our ostriches. And we can only do it at night. Give us 12 hours.
That works for me. Thanks.
We don't even have to pay them. And when he gets back, we can ask him more about the lynchings. Which is never really a topic
I
that...
can imagine that you're surprised to see so many mutants moving freely around here. I know that it's not the case in Fear. Their life isn't easy here. Racism, segregation. I am so grateful I'm not a mutant. Gotta respect their courage, though. Living with this hatred, this daily dose of contempt, seems like a giant test of character. Don't expect them to be at your beck and call. They'll most likely ask for something in return for their services. They are a free people here.
I'm surprised Phobos didn't have anything to say about that. But yeah, once they return, we'll be able to ask them about the lynchings and get that done. And now this person has a couple things that we need. So first of all, she's the one that sells the studded heavy mace, which we're going to pick up and upgrade for our friend Phobos. But more importantly, they have the full abundance uniforms that we're looking for. Here we go. Abundance officer uniforms. So we need 3 of these. And then when we're ready to do that mission, we just equip them. Also, she has access to the full abundance soldier uniform that I put on Abby. I forget what her name is. Whatever. The person that uses the sword and shield. Fuck, I can't even remember her name. If you need armor and you haven't found any good armor at this time, you can just go and buy some from her, and you will be well taken care of. That honestly, there's no requirements for using the full abundance, and if you have your crafting up to level 2 and you have all the upgrades unlocked, you know you're gonna have yourself a pretty decent piece of gear right there. So, with that said, let's upgrade that. Let's upgrade that studded mace that we just bought from that merchant and give it to Phobos. So I thought there was a strength requirement on it, but there isn't, so there's no reason why we can't just up it right now. And we are gonna go for... Should we just go for flat out damage? Yeah, let's do it. We'll just go for straight up damage. Well, nope, maybe not. We'll go for damage and disruption. Yeah, there we go. That's a pretty good mix. What's her name? Amelia. Yeah. So Amelia is wearing the full abundance uniform. Like 19 resistance is the highest you can get right now, and a really good resistance to disruption too. Very, very solid piece of armor. Cannot go wrong with it. Oh, it does require strength. Okay, well, whatever. We'll just keep that in her inventory until he's strong enough to use it. Which won't be that long, honestly. I think... Let me hit M to see if there's any quests that I haven't got that I can get. Nope, we're good. So, we have those abundance uniforms. We're not going to put them on yet. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go downstairs, and we are going to do some missions here. Now that we did the... now that we have completed the area, we can actually go down to the dome here. The area that we were in before. And for some reason, it doesn't matter what the time of day is. We don't have to worry about the sun nuking us anymore. So we have full reign to just go out and explore. Which is great, because it'll give us a chance to level up our characters, and they need leveling up. So I believe they actually start like at level like something abysmal. Yeah, they start at level 1, which, you know, obviously it's not going to fly. We need to upgrade them so they can have better stats, so we can put better gear on them so they won't die horrible, miserable deaths. And we need to be down here because we need to be hunting for artifacts anyway. And the cool thing is we're going to find some enemies that we can fight like only a couple of times in the game that have a chance of giving us like incredibly good gear that we can't get till much later. So all in all, this is going to be like a win-win-win-win-win. And I want to group as many of them up as I can. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah. See, look at what happened to Andrew. He got completely wiped out. And that, unfortunately, is going to be the story of Andrew and Phobos. We can set them to be offensive or defensive. It doesn't really matter. I think we'll go for defense just so they live a little longer, because they don't have a lot of health right now, and they don't have the best of armor on, at least as far as survivability goes. So hopefully with that defensive bonus, they'll be able to last a little longer and they won't like instantly keel over. Now, what we're doing here is we're looking for those relics that the preacher was talking about, and there's 3 different little pockets that we can find of them. And we're just in general exploring the area, getting treasure, getting the loot, getting some experience for our good friends here. Alright. Yeah, that defense bonus. Okay, so I was pretty sure that it does change their behavior, and as you can see, all he's doing is just kind of standing in the corner defending there. He's not really taking the time to attack. That's the problem with setting them to defense, is that they'll do exactly that. And look at that, even being set on full defense, he still got overwhelmed. And if you set them on full offense and they manage to get hit, then they just instantly go down. So really, your best option is just to set them to default. Just let them do whatever they want, because you might get lucky. If it was just a passive bonus and it didn't affect their behavior like that, I'd probably set it to defense. But because it does affect it and they just kind of sit there and block, and the fact that even just blocking that their blocks can be overcome, it's not really worth it. So just let them do what they want. Right now they're a little more than meat shields, but with a little bit of time, effort, encouragement, they can become very, very worthwhile allies. Very worthwhile indeed. Now there's actually a tick here, so I'm going to bust out the stick and shield so we can wade through this. And we'll just keep attacking these tentacles one at a time, just playing safe. Uh-oh, I'm not safe. And now we get our prize. No problem.
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
We're gonna need to borrow that jacket for a second, Phobos. Let's just give him the abundance uniform outfit for now. And then eventually when his strength... Actually, is his strength good? Maybe we can just put that on right away. Is your strength level 2? I'm sure you've gotten some levels. Yeah, okay, his strength is level 2 anyway, so let's just give him the light soldier's breastplate, and that means we can give him the studded. Look at that, that looks pretty cool. What can we give Andrew now? We can give him the steel boots, that's cool. His soldier's uniform pants are actually really good. If we wanted to, we could swap him into something else, but we'll keep him with what he's got. At some point, we might want to switch him to we might want to grab him a full abundance uniform, because right now, as cool as it is, the power regeneration that he's getting from the Technomancer jacket isn't doing him very much. But for now, he's fine. So let's skedoodle over here. And remember, for some reason, even though we had to worry about the sun's rays before, we are totally fine now, and there's nothing to worry about. So we can explore this place anytime we want to. And I feel like exploring it right now, but with the right weapons equipped. There we go. They're not equipped to defense. I don't know why they're just standing there like that. Now, like I said, to get these relics that we need to go like these little pocket areas that are holding them, these past domes that have been wiped out. And in these places, we're actually going to fight some Noctis Raiders that we don't get to fight these guys very often. They have a loot table that has some really good stuff. So I'm going to save before we fight them, because we can only fight them once, and I want to see if we can get our hands on something really good. Or just like flat out destroy those people. Come on, Phobos. Don't just stand there. This guy is not having a good day. Alright. Let's see what they had. We can't... unfortunately, we can't seem to loot this guy. Light Noctis Raider shirt. No, that's not exactly what I was looking for. It's okay if we don't get anything, but if there's something in particular that I'd really like to get my hands on, so I'm hoping that it will show up at some point. Let's see. Here we go. Ah, okay. No, so no, that's not what I'm looking for either. Maybe we'll have a little more luck in here. Well, first, let's spend that level up point. So we are gonna put point in. We want to get to overload as quickly as we can. So we're gonna put our next couple points on this tree. All this does is lets us chain abilities together faster. So now we can do this. See, and there's less delay where there would be before. I'm actually going to take a focus injection right here just to help out with this fight. Let's see if we can group them all together. Those guys are using their fists. There we go. He's having a bad day. He tried. Gotta give him credit for trying. Let's see what he had on him. Serum, nope. Serum, nope. No item. Nothing. Wow, what a waste. Anything in the chest? Come back for that. I actually...
As expected.
I'm gonna reload that, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna reload that, because, like I said, it's not guaranteed, obviously, but there's a chance we can get some really good stuff. And we didn't get anything there. The only thing we got was a fucking t-shirt. And quite honestly, I need something better than just a t-shirt. So we're gonna try again. I know it's kind of cheap to reload like this, but I want to give it one more try because there's so much potential. So much potentially good stuff. And we didn't get like any of it. We didn't get a single thing. So we're going to try again. If I can get just one of the things that I'm thinking of, I'll be happy. But nothing? No, I'm not going to take nothing. We can do better than nothing. Let's spend that point again. Put it in the same spot as before. Let's see if we get luckier inside. We'll go for that gunman first. Whoa. Right, that went better. And yeah, as you can see, these lightning storms are literally just wiping them out. Nope. Not what I'm looking for, buddy. Literally just trashing them like they've got no hope whatsoever. And if you can get a good one set up, it didn't knock over the big one. Alright, last chance. Nope. Okay, I'm not going to keep trying, but
as expected.
Maybe we'll get better luck in the next area.
These relics are not the ones that'll be of good use to us Technomancers.
I think that chest right there actually does have something, but we'll worry about that later. I'll get that off screen, and if it has something good in it, I'll let you know. But for now, let's continue on. Go to the next pocket area. And keep going on an adventure. Let's refresh our shield though. Always keep an eye on that. Don't let it go. So yeah, let's take a dip in here. This area is actually a little convoluted, so I get a little bit lost because of the overlap, as you can see. But I think if we hook a right here, we should be able to get there with a well, if we could hook a right, we'll go up this way instead. There's just two more little pocket areas that we need to go to, and one of them has people that we can fight. The other one, I think, it's just empty. But yeah, that's kind of disappointing. Oh, there are monsters we can fight here. Awesome. Okay, that's another chance at getting some really good loot, which is good because we didn't get shit from the last one. Yeah, these guys are incredibly vulnerable to lightning. I'll take the shot to get off that kind of attack. Gosh. It literally wiped out their entire group. And that's the value of having armor with disruption resistance, is if we were disrupted, then we would have just stopped channeling the lightning and just recoiled. So I think that's a big benefit of why we want to wear this armor instead of a different kind, for example, because of the potential to protect ourselves from losing it. Now it'd be kind of cool if we were actually skinning the riders, but we're not. We're just skinning their mounts. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, they're already grouped up for me. Nice. Could not have asked for a more perfect introduction there. Literally with just one lightning bolt, one lightning storm. knocked out their whole group. Thanks, guys. Thanks for huddling. Great team effort. Now, of course, we're not. Ooh, okay. This is good. This is a pretty decent piece of armor right here. It's not super good, but this is. We can put some upgrades in this to make that actually a pretty nice piece of equipment. It's got poison resistance, which is actually pretty important for later. I might upgrade that and then give it to Andrew as his replacement, or I might give it to Nisha as her replacement. I can't remember off the top of my head how much armor it gives, but I know it's got decent potential. And there's another level 3 lock. We'll wait till we have Nisha with us to go get that one. I better make a mental note to come back and pick these chests. So there might be some. I remember in the first chapter the lock picking skill is basically like other than the like a mask that you can pick up, it's a big waste of potential. All you get is crafting materials, which is why I wasn't too keen on giving it up to max level. But now that we are heading into the later parts of the game, we're actually going to have access to some pretty cool stuff if we get lucky. So I know for sure in chapter 3 and 4 having lockpicking at level 3 is a good idea. I want to see if I can get off like some kind of a lightning strike. These guys are so annoying to fight. Just die. Just die. This is really all you can do. I mean, you can try putting some lightning strikes in there, but yeah. And look at how much damage we took too. Jeez. Why would you ever go outside when there's things like this? Like seriously. Seriously. Like what's the point? What's the point? Why would you put these things out there in the first place? Whatever, they're just fucking annoying, but we can deal with them. Now these ostrich guys on the other hand, they are super vulnerable to lightning. Which makes our life much easier. That's a pretty stylish dodge, if I do say so myself. That one's actually. Oh! I'll take that. And you're gonna find different enemies have different kinds of weaknesses and strengths. The only thing that can do poison damage, other than Nisha's spray, is when we right-click and we poison them. But electric damage, while the ASC are pretty resistant to it, with enough stacking, enough stats, and the right talents, we can still like hit them really hard with it. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. The real question is going to be how everything stacks up to the final boss. Like, I'm really curious, once we have everything put into Technomancy and we've gotten another set of new gloves, how we're gonna measure up against the ASC and their resistant armor. I only got one. Oh well, I'll take it. I even saw that one. Yeah, see, even without the fluid regenerating armor, we're still getting a lot of extra attacks off. Now that is because we have 2 whole pips that we can dedicate to it, but I still feel like our fluid regeneration is pretty decent, even without that armor. And we're gonna get access to even better stuff with it as we upgrade it. Now, I'm not sure if... I think that there's raiders here for us. Yeah, there are. There totally are. Awesome. Can you give us some better treasure this time, guys? Uh-oh. I totally missed that. Now, as you can see, like, there's 2 parts to the attack, and it's never a guaranteed thing, but sometimes when you cancel it out like that, you'll get a little bit of the residual attack that just kind of stays even after you've moved. So if you're ever gonna get hit and take a lot of damage, feel free to bail out of it. The important thing though is positioning and just setting yourself up to get a good one off in the first place. Nope, that's not the good stuff that I'm looking for, man. That is one of the good things that I was looking for. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that, the curved dagger. Out of all the things we could have gotten, that one is the least powerful, but I'll still take it. The other thing is a piece of armor, full armor that we could have gotten. And the thing that I really want is one of 2 different kinds of pistols that we can get that actually have awesome cooldown reduction on them. Whoop, that guy's charging him. Alright, stop shooting my friends. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. It was really dark. Sorry, I couldn't tell, Andrew. Soldier's rifle. Nope. That's for Jeffrey. We'll never, as far as I know, come across a character that can use guns, so we can just outright sell that, as Jeffrey will never be coming back into it. So here, no, this isn't what we wanted. We needed the full Noctis jacket. Okay, no, we didn't. We got the knife though. I'll take the knife. That's pretty good. Unless this guy's got something. Nope, he ain't got shit. Alright, well we got the knife. I'll take it. And when we get back, I will see. I think we'll keep Andrew in that Technomancer gear. Partially because he looks so fucking cool in it. And partially because it will be less work that I have to do now, but it will also make sense later on once we complete his little side quest there and bring him up to full speed. So I'm gonna run back. Both of them are in pretty good gear, and we're gonna take Amelia with us and Nisha, and we're gonna head to we are gonna head over to Abundance. So while we can't actually get there directly, we can take sand sails, which they never really talk about in great detail what that is, but I assume what it is the little that's, you know, like obviously that sail that we saw earlier. And also, as you can tell, we're poisoning them as we hit, and that's because of our high ability, our high ranks in agility. We just have a pretty decent chance of default poisoning them with every attack, even if it's not specifically a right click. So all in all, things are looking pretty good. Things are looking good. We got a dagger that we can use to just literally flay our opponents alive. We're going to be stuck with this gun, though, until we get to Chapter 3. I think there's one more chance that we're going to have later on to get access to a gun that we'd be interested in. But for the most part, the guns that we're going to come across are all going to be, they're like disruption style ones.
This is beyond my skill level.
Well, let's get that Vori jacket on and fix that. Alright. Yeah, so Andrew's good with his gear for now, and Phobos is good with his gear. So I'm happy with where the characters are at. We want to take Amelia with us, level her up so she can get access to some good gear. Well, I mean, we want to upgrade her strength so that way we can equip her with better stuff. And that right there is a sand sail. And we can use that to sneak us into Abundance, which, you know, we're going to have to be using it until the rover gets restored. Actually, now that I think about it, what we want to do before we do that, because there's some stuff in Abundance that we need to do, and actually going to Abundance is a pain in the ass, so we want to make sure that we set as much stuff up there as we can, so that way we only have to do it as few times as possible. And I'll talk about that more when we get to abundance. Is that spiked heavy mace better than what, or is that what he's using right now? Studded heavy mace, spiked heavy mace. We'll stay with what we got, the studded. But yeah, there's a in case you didn't want to buy that, you could just get that there and upgrade it. But we'll stick with the one that we've invested in. So what we'll do is we'll upgrade this dagger, and then we will give the dagger that we have right now to Nisha, and then we will sleep in until the rovers is complete. So how we stand in for, yeah, so we actually, all that shit that we picked up, it's actually, if we get rid of Phobos, we're going to go over our weight limit, which means we can't sprint. So let's get rid of that stuff before we do that. So let's sell off, it was mostly, yeah, we can sell all this stuff off. Buy, and we'll hold on to that. We can sell off we'll hold on to that. We'll get rid of the trader's jacket. We'll get rid of this for sure. Or do we want to hold on to it? I forget which one is our charisma thing. I get so confused, guys. Okay, get rid of that. We want to hold on to the abundance. Yeah, we'll hold on to the trader's jacket. We'll get rid of these raiders pants and these mutant pants. We'll get rid of these Noctis gators and these worker shoes. So I will edit this part out. I will meet you guys once I'm done with the upgrading, and once I have slept in and we're back to talk with those mutants about getting the rover hauled back in. So see you in a bit. Alright, so it's been a little bit of time. I did some crafting. It turns out that the Noctis jacket actually is pretty good, so I gave it to Nisha. Not as good as the other armors, but it's certainly decent for what we need right now, so now she no longer has crappy gear. I put that gas mask that we found on Amelia, and I put the hat that she was wearing on Scott. So I also found out we can't remove Andrew from the party until after we've completed his quest, so he's going to be sticking with us for the time being, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We have now rested. Oh, and before I forget, this dagger compared to the one that we had before has a much lower critical chance. Like, we only have, with our agility only like a 1 in 3 chance of critting, but we do more damage with it and we have a much higher chance of disrupting. So overall, even though we crit less, it's got much better stats. So it's a pretty solid upgrade. And I put all my upgrades into increasing its critical attack, so that way we can get those crits, and now those crits are going to last. So we just waited, we rested, the mutants have finished moving the rover, so we're going to tell Dandolo about that.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I moved the rover for you. If Ophir finds the rodent, it won't be because of me.
Yes, I already heard. Sorry if the request seemed paranoid. Better safe than sorry.
Alright. Now, since Amelia's here, we can talk about the damaged rover with her.
So, just when I thought shit couldn't be worse. Her engine's been blown like a John in a whorehouse. Gonna need some spare parts now. A stator, a thermic regulator, a rotor. With only a few rovers out there, it's not like you can just grab those parts from the nearest merchant. There is one in Ophir, though. He used to have a machine for me from scratch. And I heard there may be someone else here in Noctis who sells them too. However, when it comes to prices, since we don't have abundance of support, it's not the same anymore. It's gonna cost you an arm and a leg, honey. I wouldn't mind seeing you go broke, but there are other options. Let me think. In my shed, I had a replacement stator ready to go. I imagine that the area is closely monitored, but if you manage to sneak in, maybe you could recover it. I also had a delivery waiting. The quartermaster, Ryan Stewart. I imagine he must still have a rotor in his inventory since I'm not there anymore. It won't be easy to get it back, but that's your problem.
I go back with Ryan. Know his inventory well. But with all those soldiers in the barracks, it'll be a tough nut to crack.
The final option's a robber I heard of who parts everything he fucking finds. Not a guy I'd want to grab a drink with, but I heard he's got spare rover parts. May have one of the ones we need. And I've heard that he wasn't interested in serum. Maybe you'll have to take chances, who knows? Anyway, it could be a lead. One last thing. I found the tools I'll need. However, I was in such a rush that I forgot to take my serum. I don't have a single drop of it left. And since around here they don't give away freebies...
We'll just cover the cost.
Here, take this. You will be able to buy your tools.
Well done. Wow, this is great. You just have to go get me the parts now.
I'll take care of it. The shed, Ryan's inventory, the looter, or if I want to go broke, the merchants. See? I remember everything.
What spare parts?
What's good, Zachariah? Got my parts yet?
Keep your pants on. Still working on it.
I don't even know why they'd give me that option. So now we have access the next part of the quest, which is going around and finding those spare parts, which is good because one of those spare parts, actually a couple of those spare parts, are in abundance. And so we want to make sure when we're in abundance, we're maximizing our time there, both because we've already spent like a god-awful amount of time there, and when we go there, we're going to be under attack by all these hostile people. So we need to make sure that we are spending our time there wisely. So before we do that, though, let's go talk to this merchant over here that sells rover parts and see what he has to say, because we might actually be able to incentivize him into something really, really cool.
Hello?
Oh, hey there. Need something? Got a lot of mechanical stuff.
I was told you might have spare parts for a rover. I'm looking for a thermic regulator.
Oh, yes. Yes, I got one of those. Hard to find, very hard, very rare. Hard to come by. What would you give me in return?
What do you want for it?
Well, I see two possible trades. I'd love to get my hands on some of that focus drug. I know it's not meant for us, but it gives me a nice buzz. Otherwise, you're a Technomancer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Well, I like to poke around the whole place. Just the other day, I found a Technomancer glove, but I can't seem to make it work. Like most all the Technomancer stuff I find. Well, I can repair most things, but this, I don't understand how it works, or even what it's supposed to do. But I'm sure you do. So repair it. In front of me. You fix, I watch. You teach, I learn. So in the future, I can do the fixing myself. Got it? You do this. I'll not only give you your thermic regulator, but let you walk away with the glove, too.
Awesome. So before we do that, we want to
Maybe. Let me
equip
think on it.
our
I'll be back.
crafting jacket. So our chance goes up to 100.
About that rover part.
Yeah?
Thanks to the fact that we have Amelia with us, she's giving us a bonus too. So
All right.
no
I'll show
problem.
you.
100%
Watch close.
chance.
There you go. Not exactly like new, but it works.
That's fantastic. You know how much Technomancer gear I have in inventory that I can fix now? Oh, you're a good man. Here, keep the glove and take your rover part. I don't need it anyway. Take care.
See you around.
So the glove that he actually gives us is actually a really nice glove that I totally forgot about, and we're gonna be. I think we need power 3 to use it, which we have. We do, and as you'll see, it does the same amount of damage, even with the upgrade in there. It has the same disruption chance. It has the same critical hit. So the big thing we're getting out of this is damage, and you know, more damage is always good. So next time we get to a crafting station, like the one right over there, I'll be sure to upgrade it and put that into my new. We'll hold on to the old glove that we have. We won't just throw it away because we might have someone we can give it to in the future. Who knows?
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for spare parts for a rover. A stator, a rotor, and a thermic regulator.
I have a rotor, if you want. The rest, those are rare pieces you're after, you know.
And we will pick up the rotor later. Well, actually, I forget.
I'm looking for spare parts.
I have a rotor.
We'll just pay for it.
For that price, though, it better...
It's brand new, from what I know. Came from a mechanic who took it from one of those big wind turbines. Take it. It's yours.
Thanks.
All right, so that's 2 out of the 3. All we have to do is go back to the shed. Now, if we wanted to, we could have just gone to her. When we were in abundance, we could have just gone to her shed and picked it up there. But I want to buy that to show you guys that there's 2 options for grabbing that. Not so that way, if you don't want to do it, which I totally understand if you don't, you can just take the easy way out. And at this point, like, we've got so much money, who cares? Who cares? We have another quest we need to do, but first let's upgrade this glove. So let me see what parts we need to upgrade. Okay, so to get to the damage 3 upgrade, which is the best we can afford right now, we need to get 2 electrical parts. So let me grab that real quick. Luckily, he's right here, so this won't take long at all. Excuse me, bro.
You, sir, just came.
Thank you. That's excellent. Same merchandise you always have every single time. Good to know. Good to know. Won't bother you for long. I just need 2 of those. Now, normally those are really expensive, but we've accumulated enough money and been like pretty frugal with our purchases so far that we can afford just to splurge like this. And whammo! Now we have some very, very, very powerful rug burns to give some very unlucky people. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Looking up. There's another pair of gloves that we might switch to in a bit, but for now we'll use that. And this guy has our quest. Now the funny thing is, even though he sent us to do this, we can just hold on to it, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Repent. We won't have...
I had some...
Because it's fucking funny.
I think I found all the relics in the canyon.
Even if you were willing to give them to me out of charity, I would be ready to pay for them. We had a number of donations recently.
I'm not sure that I want to sell them. Some merchants can give me more for them, unless I decide to keep them for myself.
No! How can you? Hell no! Hell no! These objects touched by the blissful will never enter the temple! I must have faith! The shadow will make you change your mind and will lead you to a fairer decision.
Nope. We're just gonna hold on to him for all that experience. Now, to my knowledge, you never get another chance to sell them. Like, I've never, even though I rejected the sale, I never saw it pop back up. So, yeah, we are all set for now. So, we are heading to Abundance. We've got a lot that we need to do. So, let's get started. As you can see, we're actually going to find the second part of the... We're going to find the second part of the arena quest that we started in Chapter 1 there. And we have a storm locust that we can kill in the underworks. So now whenever we go to Abundance, we're going to go through the underworks in this little side temple.
Folks. What have they ever done for you?
It's not what they've done. It's who they are. They're my family, and I won't abandon them.
I don't get it, but sure.
So whenever you come here, you actually have a staging area where you can set up and change your team as much as you'd like.
Noctis? Don't seem like a merchant.
Yes and no. Here on a private matter. You by any chance know the underworks?
Well enough. Even here, there's rules that forbid us to go to certain parts of the city, but in these tunnels, they become little more than technicalities.
I'm looking to get to the Technomancer's chapel. There's an entrance in the crypt, but I don't know how to get there.
Well, I can show you the tunnels under the source. Once upon a time, I used to smuggle merchandise through there. Remember hearing about some magical gate down there, too? I take it it's the kind of gate only your kind can open? Yeah, I've run into a few of those along my travels. I'll show you on a map. Be careful, Mr. Technomancer. The tunnels have always been guarded. Now it is probably even worse. Word is that the ASC's forced its way into the chapel's main entrance.
I'm gonna need another Technomancer to help me open this gate, or find another way in. I'm sure it won't be easy, but thanks for the help. It's gonna do a lot of good. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thanks. Yeah, so this is a staging area. We don't have access to a chest, unfortunately, but we do have access to a crafting station there. And there are 2 ways out. Now, we can either... I'm not sure where we got the key. Oh, yeah. Dandolo gave it to us. So we can use that key, or we can just pick the lock. We can take that way, and it will lead us into the underworks where we were before. Or what we can do is we can go along the right here, and there's actually a lift we can take that'll take us further into the underworks, or it'll take us to the exchange. It's really useful. I'll show it to you right now so you'll know like where we're working, what we're doing, where we're planning, how we're doing it. Yeah, so you just stand there, and if you want to go to the exchange, you press Q. If you want to go to the underworks, press E. Super useful. So we're about out of time. And I think before we start getting into our shenanigans in abundance, we should take a quick break. So I have been Twinkle. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.